Welcome. In this section, we're going to take a look at two breathing techniques, which I find to be very helpful and useful. So with the breath, it's a direct link to our nervous system. So it's not just about oxygenating and oxygen and carbon dioxide change. The breath is also a direct link to the nervous system. How cool is that? So the first one we're going to look at is called the Kapalabhati, or skull shining breath. And that's how it feels. It feels like it's cleaning out the brain, kind of like rebooting the computer. So I love this one. It feels like it's clearing and balancing our energy. Also great for the lungs, for the abdomen. It's a very active breath, and at first it can seem a little unnatural. It's a little tricky, so I'm going to walk you through how to do it. If it feels a little unnatural or uncomfortable at first, I encourage you to continue to practice it, and then it'll become more comfortable, and I think you'll be able to reap some of the benefits. Now, there's a quite extensive list of contraindications or conditions that if somebody has these conditions, any of these conditions, they should not do this breath at all, because it is very active, gets a lot of different things moving. So these are contraindications, so if you have any of these, please do not do this breathing exercise because it's contraindicated. So any of these, the list is pregnancy, menstruation, high or low blood pressure, heart disease, hernia, gastric ulcer, epilepsy, vertigo, migraines, severe nosebleeds, detached retina, glaucoma, history of strokes, or recent abdominal surgery. You can see why I had to write down that list. It's a long one. So if you have any of those conditions, please do not do Kapalabhati. But if you don't, here we go. Here's how we do this breath. So the entire breath happens through our nostrils. We're going to keep our mouth closed the whole time. So if you do not have clear nostrils, if you're stuffed up, then this is not going to be a good thing to do because you won't be able to get enough air. So you have to make sure both airways are clear in order to do this. So we're going to keep the mouth closed. The inhalation, the exhalation happen through the nostrils. So the exhalation is a forced, rapid exhalation. It looks like this. So we're very forcefully exhaling through the nostrils. And when we do that, we allow our abdomen to go in. So in order to get this feeling, it's just like when you cough. So take a couple coughs. When you cough, your abdomen automatically goes in without having to think about it, right? When you cough, your abdomen goes in. So even though we're not coughing, we're reproducing that when we do the exhalation. So it's a forced exhalation through your nostrils, and you let your abdomen go in when you do that. So it looks like this. So the inhalation is relaxed. The exhalation is quick and forceful and energetic. We push the air out of our nostrils, the abdomen goes in, and then when we inhale, we let the body relax, we let the abdomen expand when we inhale. So if I do it a few times, it looks like this. And if it helps, you can put your hands on your abdomen so that you make sure your abdomen is going in when you exhale. And then you can feel it gently expand when you inhale. So the exhalation is fast and forceful. The inhalation is a little more gentle. So you can build this up to doing it maybe 30 times, 40 times, 50 times, 90 times. But hey, if it only takes about a second for each exhalation, if you do it for a minute, 60 times, that only takes you a minute to do this 60 times. So you don't have to do it for a very long time to get the benefit. Even 30 seconds, a minute is beneficial. So let me do this 30 times, 30 seconds, and you can get a feel for what it looks like. And you can start it slowly at first, and as you get more comfortable with it, you may pick up the pace. So here I go for 30 times. And then you can take a couple deep breaths after you finish however many rounds you're going to do, and then just let the breath relax. So that was 30, and as you saw, I got a little quicker as I went along. So at first this can feel a little uncomfortable, a little unnatural, but I encourage you to stick with it. Great way to clear energy and to clear your mind. So the final breathing exercise we're going to look at is simply taking a deep breath. So in order to do a deep and complete breath, we're going to engage the abdomen again, just like we did with the Kapalabhati breath, but slowly. Instead of a forced exhalation, we're going to do a slow exhalation, but same thing. We want our abdomen to go in when we're exhaling, so we're pushing all the air out of our lungs and our abdomen. And then when we inhale, we're going to slowly inhale from our abdomen and then moving it up into the lungs. Remembering the lungs can expand in all directions. The rib cage can open and expand so that we're not just inhaling up. We want to see if we can feel and experience the ribs expanding front and back and side to side as well as up. So in order to take a deep breath in, it's also helpful to have that full exhalation. So a full, slow inhalation and a full, slow exhalation. So let's start by taking a gentle inhalation. And now when you exhale, slowly push all the air out of your lungs and then out of your abdomen, allowing the abdomen to contract and go in. And when you've pushed as much air out as you can, you're going to start the inhalation by expanding the abdomen and pushing against your hands. Then moving up to the lungs, see if you can expand your lungs in all directions, taking as much of an inhalation as you can. And when you're ready, once again, slowly exhaling, pushing the air out of your lungs, and then allowing the abdomen to contract and go in, pushing all the air out. When you've pushed all the air out that you can, begin the breath again by expanding the abdomen, pushing against your hands, moving it up to your lungs, expanding the lungs in all directions. You can also raise your arms up if you'd like, because that helps to lift the rib cage so that we can expand the rib cage more and inhale more. And you'll find as you do this a couple times, you can breathe even slower and deeper. So maybe doing this 4 or 5 times, slow, full inhalation, slow, full exhalation, inhaling and exhaling as much as you comfortably can in each time. And you'll find that as you continue to do this, you'll be able to slow down the breath and take a slower, fuller, and deep breath. I'd like to add one more thing here. What's the point of inhaling with the abdomen, right? Because obviously we're not really inhaling in the abdomen, but we expand it when we inhale. What's the point of doing that? Well, when we expand the abdomen, our diaphragm lowers, which allows more of our lower lungs to fill with oxygen. If we're standing or sitting most of the time, then most of the blood in our lungs is in the middle of the lower lungs due to gravity. And what's the point of breathing? Well, we're oxygenating our blood. So all that is to say, when we expand the abdomen on the inhalation, our diaphragm lowers, which allows for our lower lungs to fill with more oxygen. So therefore, we're breathing more efficiently, we're oxygenating more blood. So that's why it's worth making the effort of learning that abdominal breath. And it feels good. Again, don't make it so that you feel you're dizzy or you're not getting enough oxygen. So make it comfortable. But as you practice this breath, you'll find that you'll be able to breathe with a slower and deeper breath. So these are a great thing to do as part of this energy balancing and clearing series and routine. But again, you can do any of these exercises separately, including the breathing ones. And the breathing ones you can even do while you're doing other things. You can do it while you're driving. Just make sure not to close your eyes, or while you're sitting, watching television. So you can even find some ways to incorporate some of these exercises even when you're doing something else. So thank you. Enjoy. Again, please listen to your own body as you're doing any of these exercises. Thank you. Namaste.